All right, it's 4 minutes in. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll share my screen. Do we have any new faces today? It doesn't look like it to me, but we'll throw it out there. No. All right. Designated note taker. Can I get a designated note taker for today?
I can take notes.
Oh, thank you very much. Perfect. Let's take a look at outstanding RFCs. And for my money, there appears to only be one. So let's take a quick look at that one and through it. I believe that this is yours, Kevin, around additional JVMs for the Java build pack.
Yeah, we've had some discussions last week and yesterday, or yeah. Daniel approved it. I don't know what other approvals we need.
That's probably all you need. It might make sense for David O'Sullivan to take a look at this as well. But I think that this could probably go into like final comment period if we wanted to.
Okay.
I'll reach out. I'll reach out to Dan about that. Maybe he wants David to take a look at it. But yeah, I can reach out to Dan for that.
All right. Thanks, Forrest.
Yeah, no problem. And with that, this is just a PR to update the accepted list in the README. So I don't think that we actually need to discuss that. So with that, I think that we're actually already at the top/bottom of our RFC list. So we can move on to CNB updates and questions. I think the only big CNB update that I have is for this working group is their continued move towards the removal of stacks. If that's not something that you've looked into, it should probably be something that you look into. I think it's something that we've kind of wanted for a while because the stack IDs were not as descriptive, or perhaps maybe a bit too descriptive for what we wanted in terms of support. So this should hopefully be a step in the right direction.
Is that where could we find that information about what the current status is?
Yeah, so that's where it gets a little bit difficult. I think that there's either a running issue or document discussing all of the steps and sort of the phases in which they're trying to roll that out. But I would have to hunt that down, and to be honest, I don't know exactly where it is. I can scroll back through some CMB working group meetings and see if I can find that somewhere. Project updates. Are there any project updates that I'm not aware of? All right. Finally, we have two open mic questions. So the first one being Paketo Buildpacks workshop at DevCon. I assume that's Czechia?
Yeah, it is. So I just got word yesterday that a proposal for a Buildpacks workshop has been accepted at DevConf. That's scheduled to happen in mid-June. So if all the logistics in terms of visas and other things do line up for me, I will be presenting at the conference. I wanted to find out if there'd be takers for coming and presenting there. That would be cool. But if not, any help in terms of prepping for that workshop and helping with like 80 minutes worth of content in terms of, these are the steps and stages that we can walk folks through. I'd be happy to get all kinds of help on that, because by myself, I think I can manage about 40 minutes of it. Definitely not 80. So anything that the community can do to sort of help and provide in terms of any content, any ideas about what to show, what not to show, and things like that is much appreciated.
That's awesome. I would maybe suggest opening some sort of discussion topic on the matter
Absolutely.
to sort of allow for some more crowdsourcing.
Sure.
Are you looking for somebody to present with you, or to like take the presentation and do it themselves if they're interested? And then also relatedly, would that be in person, or is there a virtual component to this?
Yeah, so unfortunately, there's no virtual component because this is like a workshop track. It has to be, I think, something more interactive in terms of we have to get participants to take particular steps in terms of, it'll be like a tutorial, only it'll be live, is my guess. So at the moment, I applied as an individual, but I think there's always ways in which we can get organizers to add other speakers who can come and present. So, but yeah, I get that it can be a tough ask. It's scheduled to be in mid-June, so I think the weekend of the 18th or something.
Awesome. Yeah. Best I could say is that probably some sort of well, no, my brain stalled out. It'll come back to me. Some sort of a discussion topic to crowdsource some ideas would probably be good. And then I believe that we've done some forms of like demos and workshops in the past. I believe that a long time ago, Ryan and Andy did a like Docker to Buildpack workshop. I'm not saying that that's necessarily what you would want to do, but there may be some interesting ideas in there. And they spend a lot of time sort of working out the interaction and some of the kinks. So I can ask Ryan about that. And
Sure, that would be one of the most logical steps to take, right? So if you're using Docker and containerizing some stuff right now, try to do a pack build on like the same code base, and we'll figure out things as we go. So if we can, I think we could start with like a sample or two that we have, and then progressively showcase slightly more complex apps, and towards the end see if folks are able to apply it on their own code bases, and see what sticks and what doesn't. So
awesome. Next up is, this one's about me. For a session, it's Swapnil.
yeah, so I had requested it in the same group and posted like a few times. So thank you, Forrest, for coming forward to do that interview. So this is about the session about security and compliance. So we need to send them a few seed questions. So like some basic stuff about what we'd like the conversation to include, or what would make sense in terms of a start. And these are like one or two questions that you could ask, and this should be the conclusion and stuff like that. But once we give him the questions, there's no guarantee that he might stick to it, but it's good to have a few questions in their docket so that they have something to begin with and some direction to go in. So
I've been working on a set of questions and outlining
Great.
potential like strengths and that sort of thing. I can send that document to you. Yeah, I was hoping to put together like that probably today or tomorrow and send that over just so that they have plenty of time.
Yep. Sounds good. Before the end of the week would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. And then finally, we have thoughts on updating CI to create multi-arc build packs, AMD 60, ARM 64 and AMD 64.
That was me. Hello. So I haven't been here for a little while. I've been working on a mentorship project with the Pack project, and the stack removal part is kind of complicated, obviously. So there's a lot of moving pieces there, but the first step that they're going to take towards multi-arch is basically allowing Pack to create manifests, and that means that build pack creators, authors would just need to use this tooling to actually create multi-arch images. And we can kind of do that today already with Docker or Podman or whatever choice you want to use. Like it can be done today. And I think that there's a lot of value in updating the CI to create multi-arch build packs today. And then once all this stuff gets worked out on the upstream part of it, then we can update the CI so that, or you can update the CI so that it's using the new standard. But it's hard to actually test anything when you only have AMD 64 build packs available. And I'd like to do that. I'd like to have users test it. Have a lot of interest in multi-arch build packs, but I haven't said let's use them because I would have to go and basically rebuild everything that Paketo is doing myself and publish multi-arch images to my own registry somewhere, and I don't want to do that. So I'm floating the idea of are you open for an RFC or something so that we can update the CI and start creating multi-arch builders today, or sooner than later.
I mean, certainly I don't know that an RFC would go amiss. I think some of our biggest reasons for not doing it in the past was availability of workers. Like, so we're using GitHub Actions, and I know that they're still on AMD 64. I don't know if that's still true because I haven't looked at the worker pool lately. And it would seem to make sense for them to probably have some ARM workers at some point in the not too distant future.
Here's a question though. I mean, like if we're talking about build packs and you're building them in Go, you're creating binaries. I'm new to Go, but my understanding is you can build binaries for different architectures.
Yeah, yes, that is true. I think the only thing that we'd be concerned about is that we would lose the ability to test them on native infrastructure. Like we'd lose the infrastructure testing for ARM, and I think that that's probably what would be the biggest concern. I think if we were to do something like put them out experimentally in some ways, like we've cross-compiled to ARM and Go so that you can do this. That's maybe a different conversation, but talking about full-fledged support without the ability to test against that architecture might be a bit harder to convince at least myself of, just because you can get into the situations where like I haven't validated that this artifact that I've built in a different way is actually as valid as the one that I have tested.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, the testing part, I guess I hadn't really considered that part. Okay. Still, I think that maybe like what can I do to help move this conversation forward? Because I think it just needs to happen. And I know on the roadmap, this was like a big thing, but I looked at the roadmap, but I didn't see anything on there for it.
Yeah. I think that's a good question. I'd have to look into the state of ARM 64 like container test or like containers for GitHub Actions, and also like maybe something along the lines of hosting our own workers if that's like infeasible.
I know that recently Dan Makuza has renewed his interest in getting the ball rolling on this as well. He was looking into actually starting up an initiative in this area to work on it. I haven't really been following the latest of what he's been working on there, but I do think first of all an RFC would be great. Even if you just start off with a very basic thing, then at least we have a forum for people to like weigh in with their concerns and things. You don't have to have like the whole thing fleshed out immediately. Just put some ideas down so that we have like a nice place to like discuss things. And I also recommend discussing with Dan, maybe jumping on a call and just seeing like where he's at with this, because I know he's been working on it.
Sweet. Okay, I will do both of those things.
Because yeah, without a doubt, like this is a roadmap item or like something that the project has been wanting to do, but it just like hasn't been, we haven't found the time still to like actually get on with it and start looking into this. So any way that you can like get the ball rolling would be very much appreciated.
Sounds good. I will do that. Thank you.
I don't see any other open mic topics.
Yeah, I'll just got a quick question to ask. So the RFC, for the UPI stuff got accepted and everything just before Easter. Who do I chase about the repositories? Because we're waiting on the repositories to be created for that so we can start putting code in.
Those repositories are supposed to be created in Paketo community, correct?
Yes, indeed.
I can probably spin those up for you right after this meeting.
Excellent. No worries. There's no rush. As long as they're in by sort of end of the week, then we can get on with it. Let's meet so I can pass on status to the other people as well.
Yeah.
Thank you
for
very
sure.
much.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else? Awesome. Brief meeting. Thank y'all.